Good evening, Mr. Lall, and thanks for coming to
Thank you so much.
Manthan.
Thank you
Business
so much for
Standard
hosting
Manthan.
me. Thank you.
It's great to have you here. Manufacturing next level and making India future ready. We'll come to that. But before that, can we step back and, maybe you can share with the audience the journey of Dixon, how it had started as Western some more than 30 years ago, and to now, what has been the big difference really? The many differences.
Well, I think in every crisis there's an opportunity. And that's how Dixon was born. We are an offshoot of a consumer electronics brand which was fairly dominant in the 70s and 80s by the name of Western Electronics. But we went through a crisis in late 80s. A lot of our revenues were coming from erstwhile USSR. USSR fell apart. A lot of our business was dependent on imports. We used to have a tie with Hitachi, and in 1991, India went through a foreign exchange crisis. The LCs were not being opened. So the business was in turmoil. And that's when we got this opportunity from LG, which then was Lucky Gold Star of Korea. At that time, Lucky Gold Star LG was not in India. They were a fairly large exporter of CRT televisions from Korea to Europe. And there was an anti-dumping duty imposed of 23%. There was a normal duty of 14%. On Indian exports of television, there was no import duty. We were a part of that GSP Form A regime. So they were looking for a partner in India. And that's how Dixon was born, with a very meager capital of only 40 lakh rupees in a rented factory. We started manufacturing televisions for LG for exports. But we were always fiscally a very conservative company. Right from the first month, we started earning money. And that time, the concept of outsourcing was not prevalent either globally or in India. So this was the first time that this concept of outsourcing and EMS started evolving. And that's how the journey started. From televisions, we got into VCRs, we got into audios, we got into washing machines, we got into lighting, and various other products. But that was the era when manufacturing was not exactly a part of the government policy framework, at least electronics, and the world was opening up. The whole concept was world is flat, world and the supply chains are going to be integrated. And the flavor of the day was Y2K movement. The whole focus was on IT services. So the growth and the opportunity and the addressable market was extremely limited. But then came the change, geopolitically, globally, and also in India, right from 2012 and 13. And a realization set in that manufacturing should be looked at in a positive way. The policy framework should be supportive of electronics manufacturing. And definitely with the new government coming in 2014, the things started changing. And it's reflected in our numbers. Please appreciate that in 2017, when we got listed, we were at 2,000 crores of revenue. We were 1,400 people, 4 factories, market cap of 2,500 crores. In 8 to 9 years, this year we'll close at 50,000 crores. We're going to be 40,000 people, 26 factories, market cap of around 65,000 crores. And we feel that we just scratched the surface. We really feel in our industry parlance that this is the real Y2K moment for the electronics manufacturing industry. We are at an inflection point. So that's where we are.
You are the largest homegrown electronics manufacturing, contract manufacturer. But there has been another ecosystem in India in the last few years, that of Apple. So how do you look at that competition? Is that a big competition for you?
No, not at all. I mean, it's not a competition. I think Apple is a, you see, any industry, for it to take off, it requires certain flag bearers. If you recall how automotive industry really took off in India, it happened only when Maruti Suzuki came in. And that's what the brands like Apple and Samsung are to India. Because with it comes the scale, with it comes the global opportunity, with it comes huge deep learning. And any industry, any business, more than the financial metrics, is about acquisition of capabilities. And that's what Apple brings to the table. In our case, we are an Android player. Please appreciate that in the 150 million industry mobile devices, Android is almost at 130, 135 million. And within Dixon, we now have a capacity of almost 60, 65 million. So for us, it's a very large play. It's a large game. Apple is extremely important for India, for this industry. Yeah. Is it competition? Yeah, it may be competition, but it's a huge learning as well. So we look at it from a very positive perspective.
You are a supplier to many multinational companies, from Motorola to Xiaomi. So, what is the balancing that you have to do to cater to companies of different geographies? How do you do it? How challenging is that?
See, as an outsourcing company, as an EMS company, in simplistic terms, you're always subservient to your principles. You're in this business and you'll be successful in this business when you continuously strive to create value for them. And at the same time, you need to manage the sensibilities, because you're manufacturing a product for various large players who are competing with each other. So you have to manage the sensibilities around their IP protection. You have to, and every large player has very different set of expectations. So very humbly, you have to have a deep skill level relationship with them to learn their skill set. And show huge nimbleness to deliver to them a product which is more innovative, which is more frugal, and there's a huge flexibility in supply chaining. Because you have to kind of take care that not only you're adding value to their margins, but you're also helping them managing the balance sheet. So it's a complex thing. It's a low margin business with a huge opportunity. Now, with some of our customers, let's say one of our earliest customers is Philips Signify Lighting. We have a relationship with them since 2008. And today that relationship has converted into a 50-50 joint venture with their extended manufacturing arms. So sometimes these relationships evolve into something very, very deep. And that's what we aspire to do.
Since you're dealing with so many multinationals, does the current situation, geopolitical situation of the last 1 year or more, has that impacted the business?
You see, one thing which is definitely played out for our industry is that the electronics products till 4-5 years back were largely imported. They were imported from Far East, earlier Japan, then Korea, Taiwan, and then China. So that chapter is over. For domestic consumption, all the electronics products being consumed and sold in India would be manufactured in India. So that's a very deep positive. What is the next level of trajectory? That there should be deepening of value addition, and hopefully at some stage there should be owning of IP with the Indian companies. So that's a path we're all going to follow. But one major aspiration of the industry was that we should become a footprint for the global markets. And undoubtedly, US is one of the largest markets. Fortunately for us, phones, there is a carve out and there is no tariff imposed on phones. So we are never impacted as far as phones are concerned. But various other categories. washing machines, lighting, telecom devices, routers, fixed wireless devices, radios for telecom network. They're a huge opportunity. And last 1.5 years since the tariff situation came into play, there's a huge element of uncertainty. And any amount of uncertainty is damaging for the business. You can't take decisions. How to set up capacities, how to allocate your capital. Your principals and customers are not sure. And in our case, it's all the more difficult because please appreciate that in electronics, the supply chains for the last 20, 25 years have been very deeply entrenched into Far East and China. To shake them up, you have to do much more. And then they come out of their inertia. And then you have to prove your credentials. And then something happens. It takes time. So any element of uncertainty, it's a dampener. So that has been an impact. Hopefully it's getting settled now. And we should have some positive.
You mentioned after the deal with the US that
right.
was announced, I think
that's
you
right.
said. Yeah.
That's a positive.
That's a positive. But uncertainties remain as we. As
this is an uncertain world, and that is not very heartening.
You mentioned owning of Indian IPs. That's a very interesting thought. And can you share your plan of how should one go about it?
You see, definitely the first phase in any industry, in electronics industry, is also manufacturing. So as I shared with you, that phase we have already achieved, and the industry has achieved in a very significant positive way. The next step after that is deepening of value addition. That means more and more components in the electronics industry should be manufactured in India. And here I'm not talking about only semiconductors. Here I'm talking about various other things. Here I'm talking about PCBs, here I'm talking about passives, here I'm talking about antennas, here I'm talking about mechanical enclosures, here I'm talking about camera modules, here I'm talking about display devices. These are all very, very large things, and until this component ecosystem is set up in India, it's going to be a struggle for us. So the industry is going through that phase. And after that, once you have that set up, that you can develop the tools and dies, you have that capability, and then comes something to own the IP. So the first phase that I was talking about when I'm talking about deepening of manufacturing, India needs a huge talent pool. You need engineers who understand CNC, precision engineering, tools and dies, thermal management, heat sinks, radio frequency, cameras, optics, display. And somehow in our engineering institutes, we've missed out on that. You need those masters. Every year, not many, at least 100, 200 such engineers should come out from I won't even say IITs, because possibly those young men are more inclined towards. So the whole industry contours has to change. We from industry has to work with academia to develop those curriculums. We have to train the faculty members. We have to set up centers of excellence in some of these institutes. If not BTechs, we have to entice the MTechs to get trained in that. We have to work out different kind of packages for them. We have to lay out the blueprint of their careers. That they join a company as a fresher at 20, 25 lakhs package. 5, 6 years, they can be at 80 lakhs, 90 lakhs. And they have to become ESOPs. When you have that talent, then you look at the next stage of working on IP. IP means, let's say, you need to look at, let's say, a futuristic device like a smart glass, right? Now, they say that possibly smart glass can replace a mobile. Now, when you look at that, you need a tool and die expert who can design a smart glass which has a low weight. You need an engineer who can design power electronics which can work on low voltage power engines. You need somebody on the camera module side who understands LiDAR. Somebody who can work with the likes of Qualcomm and MediaTek to develop the software stacks. So it's a journey. And obviously, the government policy framework in any industry, in its stages of infancy, you need some handholding. Government is doing it, but needs to do much more. But I think we from the industry needs to do much, much more.
So what is the kind of collaboration that you are looking at, whether with the government, whether with the educational institutes, academia, for getting the best talent pool for what you're just talking about, the Indian IP?
So from Dixon side, we feel that it is an extremely important thing. And we are working with my alma mater, BITS Pilani. So we're going to be setting up the Center of Excellence and putting a lot of money from Dixon side, both in the Pilani campus and Hyderabad campus. And chartered a course which I just shared. We are also working with Plaksha University in Mohali to set it up. So that's an initiative, small, but definitely for us it's very important that we're going to do that.
Talking about semiconductor, what is the kind of expansion that you're looking at into semiconductor? It's mostly in design, right?
So in Dixon's case, we are not into semiconductors as of now. We are into hardware manufacturing.
But are there plans?
So we've been evaluating it, and I'll be candid about it, but I'm just waiting for the ISM2 to be rolled out, because on the financial metric side, semiconductor, a display fab, it's a very large capex industry. We're waiting for the ISM2 to be rolled out. Let's see how it looks, and then we're going to take a call on that. So I will not be able to comment anything more on that.
What is your expectation from ISM2?
So as we have been hearing from the government sources, it's going to be more design-led. It's going to be more IP-driven. It's going to be also on the equipment side. So we feel those are going to be the features, but let's wait and watch how it happens.
Overall, in manufacturing, you've been expanding quite a lot. So how do you decide the geography of a facility when you set it up? Do you look at how a state government is doing? What is it you've got all across the country? Can you throw some light on your ecosystem?
So at present, I mean, Dixon is a north-based company. So we started off with Noida, Greater Noida, because there were certain fiscal incentives. We expanded to Uttarakhand. But then we realized that we need a footprint near the port. So we went to Tirupati. There was a fiscal package from Andhra government. We expanded to Kadapa. And then we forayed into IT products, laptops, tablets, AIOs, and now servers, both conventional and AI servers, which requires a very different kind of a talent pool. So we expanded into Chennai. So there are various boxes to be checklisted. Availability of talent, logistics, closeness to the port, export potential, and of course the fiscal incentives from the state government. So at present in Dixon, we are in North, we are in Noida, Greater Noida, we are in Uttarakhand, we have one unit in Ludhiana. And then we are in South, we are now in Chennai, and we are in Andhra.
So where next?
So let's see, we are seriously evaluating MP, Gwalior, because we are into telecom devices. We are one of the largest manufacturers of telecom devices, in which we have a joint venture with Bharti Airtel. And the government is hopefully rolling out a scheme called Telecom Manufacturing Zones. It's going to be an MP. So we are seriously evaluating MP as the next option.
That's quite an unusual destination, right?
Yeah, but then it's on the expressway. It's 3.5 hours from Delhi. It's very close to the station. There is an airport. And to my pleasant surprise, it has a huge talent pool. You see, around this belt only, there will be at least 35, 40 engineering colleges.
That is interesting. Talking of when we are talking about future, we have to talk about AI. So what is your thought on AI, and how much of AI is being used at Dixon, and for what?
So the digital initiatives are extremely important. Because finally, the labor arbitrage, which at present is an extremely important quotient in the financial matrix, its impact is going to get diluted. You see, we're going to be heading more and more towards dark factories, where the human intervention would come down. Now, I just think of any operation on the line. It can be welding, right? Now, normally today we are applying the Six Sigma techniques, gauge RNR, various statistical tools to control the quality of my welding. Now, application of an AI tool there, it automatically sets the parameters and the throughputs and the quality. It has a huge significant change for the positive. Now, these are the positives which we are trying to attempt. But I think we have a long way to go. We have to address the extremely important requirement of implementation of AI, one, through the cultural mindset of our people. And second, we have to partner the technology companies in our roadmap of AI implementation. But is it going to be important? And is Dixon committed to it? Absolutely.
Are you a believer in AI?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
So you think it's more of an opportunity?
Oh, yes, absolutely. And you have to be committed to it.
But what about the risks? What about, I'm not talking about Dixon, but overall, I mean, we know what kind of risk it can.
So I think one, on the AI itself, there can be hallucinations, there can be challenges about the quality. And although at the same time, you see, we are a socially responsible organization, also we should be. So you need to train your people for upskilling them for different kind of jobs. And that's a social responsibility we all have. So there has to be correct balancing, hopefully, in managing this implementation and managing this change.
If you have to ask the government for something in the electronics manufacturing, contract manufacturing ecosystem, what would that be to make things really world-class and to make Indian global brands?
So I think the government in the last 8-10 years has really supported the industry. And the initiatives of the government is starting with MSIPs, Phased Manufacturing Program, PLI, ISM-1. This is what has helped the industry in growing from $30-odd billion to $130 billion in the last 7 years. And now the aspiration is to take it to almost $500 billion. The rollout of ECM as a scheme, which is committed, which is focused on creating a component ecosystem, has had an extremely positive response. So these are extremely positive steps. So I think now we are looking at, hopefully, because the industry also needs some more support for 2, 3, 4 years for taking the mobile manufacturing to the global markets, and also for deepening of manufacturing and making design-led. And also the next phase is to create some Indian global brands. So that policy framework should be aligned towards achieving these objectives.
Is there anything in the making to make Indian global brands?
I think the intent is there. Is there a policy framework around the corner? I don't know about that.
But what is it that you're thinking about? How can it be done?
You see, definitely some handholding is required. So I think hopefully some support, something may happen on that.
Is there anything on the regulatory front that you think should change, maybe with respect to some countries that, we have certain stand and probably we should be relaxing that?
I think the government lately is evaluating it. I know what you're referring to. So is evaluating with a more positive approach, and I think that's helping.
But on the whole, should it be a case-to-case, opening up or permission, or should there be a broader policy framework? We have also been debating about it, even in, in the media. But is there a clear answer to that? That should there be a policy framework, or should it be case-to-case?
You see, my sense is still it needs to be case to case. It's a much larger issue. So yeah, industry's perspective is there and it's important. But I think what the government is doing as of now is very prudent. Can it be more seamless or can it be expedited? Possibly yes, but that's a difficult question to answer. My sense is it should be case to case.
Okay, so we'll take a couple of questions from the audience. Yes? Yes, mics, please. Yeah.
Hi, sir. You mentioned that you are establishing in MP, right? Is it that you are also getting benefits which the Madhya Pradesh government is providing to a lot of manufacturing companies that are established in Madhya Pradesh? For example, a lot of textile companies have received some benefits, incentives from the Madhya Pradesh government. Force Motor has also received some incentives. Dixon has these incentives or maybe planning to get these incentives in future?
So we are definitely evaluating MP as a possible footprint, possibly for our telecom devices manufacturing. We are hoping that the scheme, which is a collaborative scheme in the central government and MP government, for TMZs, the telecom manufacturing zones, is going to be rolled out. And it looks to be an attractive scheme. So we're definitely evaluating that.
Thank you. Any question? Yes, here at the center. Individual.
May I?
Yeah, please.
Good evening, sir. Very eloquent session, and I think it was really insightful for you to your take on IPs and about the deep value manufacturing. How do you maybe summarize the structural bottlenecks that we face in making India a global scale manufacturing hub?
I think for any industry to reach that level of maturity is a journey. And it takes time. And it requires a collaborative approach of entrepreneurs and the government. My conviction is that we are on the right path. It's going to take some time. Is it going to be absolutely seamless and 100% successful? The life is never like that. There are going to be some bumps, some accidents. But finally, I feel as a country and as an industry in this space of electronics manufacturing, we're going to be winners. In various categories, we're going to be a footprint for servicing global markets. In various categories, we're going to own the IP. In various categories, there may be some brands dominating not only India, but also having a significant presence in the world. So I think it's just a matter of time.
Yes, another
More
question.
power to you.
Yes, at the center.
Just one.
The Bharti, and Gwalior combination at your, new place set up Gwalior. Just wanted to inform you, or probably you would be aware, Bharti School of Management and Engineering is there at Delhi IIT. You were talking about, that you were, putting up something along with your alma mater at BITS Pilani. So you mentioned Bharti, and Bharti is already there for last 5-6 years at the IIT campus.
Okay, thanks for that information.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, yes.
Just
there.
Just 1 second.
No, at the back. At the back.
Yeah, I will give it. Just this on the innovation side in the industry or manufacturing. Where do you see in next 5 to 10 years? Where the majority of the innovations are going to come? What kind of innovation could it be?
So you're talking about manufacturing space or designing space?
Industry, overall industry, like.
See,
Especially in the manufacturing.
As far as the manufacturing is concerned, the whole world, as it was stated in the opening statement, we're heading towards Industry 5.0. We're heading towards dark factories. Please appreciate, in China, I've seen, I don't want to name the companies, the EVs being produced in 5 seconds.
5 seconds.
Yes, with practically very minuscule human intervention. In some of the factories, the mobiles are being produced a set a second. So that kind of automation, humanoids, robotics, digitization is there. And we need to catch up. We need the talent pool for that. You see, a new product, a new mobile model can be launched within 75 to 90 days. And here I'm talking about new tooling, new stack, new antenna, new RF, new camera features. So that's where the world is headed, and we need to do a lot of work. And that's what I'm talking about. Fiscal and financial matrix is only one aspect of business. And we in industry are in the habit of keep talking about it much more. The business in electronics is now today more about acquisition of capabilities. That's what we're to work on.
Thank
I
you.
have a question for Mr. Lall. Given how China weaponized rare earth magnets last year, how do you look at diversification of your sourcing base in that context? And also, how do you look at the risk of nearshoring for your business? For example, the rise of Mexico and Poland as other alternative hubs. Thank you.
So that's an extremely pertinent question. And
On e-waste also.
E-ways. He's saying it.
so that's an extremely pertinent question. That means we have to forge partnerships beyond the country that you mentioned. And it's not that that capability is not there. You see, please appreciate that today also, let's say a mobile phone, the value addition in China is around 40%. It's not that everything is done there. We need to strive to reach there in India. In India today, the value addition in a mobile phone is around 17 to 18%. We in Dixon are investing in a display plant. We have acquired a camera module factory. We're investing in mechanical enclosures. So it's a journey we'll have to work upon, and we better do that. We shouldn't be dependent on the easy way out. As far as e-waste is concerned, the government itself has come up with extremely stringent environmental laws on e-waste, and the industry is working on it. Yeah, we all abide by that.
Thanks. A last question from me. What would you say is the roadmap? If you have to say in one line, what should be the roadmap to make India future ready? What should we do?
Acquisition and creation of a huge talent pool with brilliant engineers, with engineering mindset, focusing on electronics manufacturing with globe as your market.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much. Thank you.